Yes, sir.
I'm Gail from Wilkinson. I live out in Richland Township. In June of '06, you passed an 1 cent library tax, 1 cent per 100. Today, I am paying 18 cents. In the last 4 years, my library tax has been $10,000, and I'm fed up with it.
This,
The library has $1 million in the kitty.
I believe we have addressed this in the past, haven't we?
Well, we talked about them, spending some of that money they got rather than more tax money. We talked about that.
We as county council, and correct me if I'm wrong on this, review that library's budget. Jim, didn't we send that budget back as unacceptable?
We've sent it back every year as, thinking they need to reduce it, but they're within their levy and they just tell us this.
What am I supposed to do, just keep paying? Mr. Wheeler don't pay 1 penny, and some of you others probably don't. And I'm not complaining about him either. He's got a trustee and come out to something.
Have you approached the library directly?
Yes,
And they're non-responsive?
they got a board that don't care, and don't know.
Well, one of the things that I understood, that once we review it and send it back, then our state legislator said there's no enforcement within that state statute. Is that correct?
That's right. All we can do is review it.
We review it, we send it back, and then we have no power
Yeah, we don't.
to enforce our recommendations.
Unless they go above their levy, we can't do anything about it, and they don't. They keep it just under, and we got our hands tied. We don't approve it. We always tell them, reduce it.
Why did you okay it when it wasn't countywide? Why did you okay it when it wasn't countywide for all townships?
Because
We're
states-
not against the library.
No, the state statute says that the county council has to review the budgets of the libraries.
Yeah, but you didn't have to okay it.
We didn't.
We did not.
We told them what we didn't. We did not okay it.
Unanimously.
We did not okay it. We told them to reduce it. They don't have
It's not
to.
in your minutes. It's
Well,
not
we
in your
did. We
minutes.
sent it back, and we didn't approve it.
We sure did.
Huh?
We sure did send it back.
Yeah, we didn't approve
About
it.
it being countywide, there is no countywide library, so there's no countywide rate. Thorn Creek, Columbia, and Columbia City, I think, are the ones taxed for the Peabody Library out here.
That's correct.
Smith Township,
Union and Smith.
Union and
currently.
Smith, and you get Cleveland and Richland, I think, down
And
there.
there is quite a difference in the, I'm gonna call it the Cherubusco Library, which represents Smith Township and Union, compared to the South Whitley one.
Cherubusco has no budget to speak of.
I know.
It
I know
runs
all about
between,
this. I've been working on it for over 5 years. I've got a stack of papers this high.
They also have a lot less library.
yes,
Well, they do.
I can understand when you okayed this.
We didn't
We
okay
didn't
it.
okay it.
Well, you passed it unanimously.
No,
for
we didn't pass it.
What's in your minutes?
Well, we didn't pass it. We sent it back and told them to reduce their budget.
Well, it's not in your minutes that
That's
you
what they
sent
was
back.
told to do. But then they don't have to do it. As long as they're not over their levy, they do not have to, they don't have to pay attention to us.
there, in the state statute, there is no enforcement for county council. Once we review that budget and say, no, reduce it, and they say, oh, thank you for reviewing it, we're gonna do as we want.
As long as they aren't over their levy, they can do that, and that's what they do.
And I have no idea why they ever passed that. The councils had to review the budgets, that's all. They don't approve them.
Well,
They
the
just
reason
review.
they brought it to the council is because Cleveland Township went as a district the same time as Richland Township did. And they was under the jurisdiction of South Whitley then, and they had to come to the council because they had more people in the district.
Well, our hands are tied, Betty. As long as they're within their levy, we cannot tell them what to do. We tell them reduce it, and they.
Well, the problem is, Richland Township trustee, this was never brought up in any of their meetings.
It's,
And if you look, it took me 2 years to get the contract because the trustee, when they had the first budget meeting, after this was signed, the trustee would not show me the contract. It took me 2 years to get it, and I got it at the recorder's office. It is not filled out as a contract, but it does have the board member's signature on it. And the board members told me for 2 years, they absolutely did not sign no contract to go in as a district. Now there's something somewhere.
Well, it looks like
The
a legal issue.
librarian quit, our trustee moved down on us, and 6 board members quit after I got working on it. But I'm not against the library. I'll pay what everybody pays.
$10,000
But
in
the,
4 years, it's
but
library.
the
A lot
township
of money.
should be, all townships should pay into it. Just certain townships cannot keep that library for someone to go in there to buy a green card.
Well, the only people that are supposed to use it are the townships that pay into it. If
Will
everyone
you
in the
check
county,
into it and see how many use it?
I have no idea how many do, but that's what
You
it's
can go
supposed to
in there and
be.
buy a green card for less than $100, and here we're paying $3,000 a year.
You can go to any library as long as you have that card.
Well, you have to buy the card, right?
Yeah.
Buy a
That's
card
right.
and go anywhere.
It took Macro Polos over 7 or 8 years to get Bernie Madoff, and I haven't quit on this yet.
Good luck.
We're
That's
not laughing at
not
No.
you. We're not laughing at you. We're laughing.
But back to what Jim said, we have absolutely no control over that budget. We look at it and say, cut it, or
And George Helton, his last meeting, that's been about in 78, not 78, 08. He had his last meeting with a group of all you people that pay in taxes here. And that's when I handed in my petition. And he hasn't had a meeting like that since, unless he sends a substitute.
Betty, they let them have in savings $1 million. And what would that be like if the county, they don't let us do that, but if the county, what would we have? 30, 40 million accordingly?
Last month, they had their budget put in the paper, and they would have been to $1 million if they hadn't have bought that house and
Yeah.
put their parking lot
See,
in it.
the
But
state
I
won't
don't-
allow us to do that, but keep that kind of a working balance. I mean,
Well,
we
what
can have
about
$1 million,
George
but I mean
Helton? He
accordingly.
come in here and scammed these township trustees. When this budget come up, I went to your trustee in Whitley, and I asked him, I says, how much do you think you're gonna take out of your county? He got his calculator out, 65,000. When it come out, I went to the assessor's office, and it was about 150,000. And it took 120,000 out of our township that first year. And I think George Helton come down here and scammed this whole county. I'm not against any library. I am against the way it's supported, and it's not right.
Colleen, I think you got a legal issue.
It's a legal issue. Legislative or legal.
Betty's contacted the DLGF attorney, I just know because I've been working with her since she started. When the Jeeber guy took the rate out of the township rate, I don't believe that he really knew what was gonna happen when he allowed the AV to go into, as a library rate instead of being paid to the library out of the township money. All he was thinking was, I can cut this out of my township money. My only feeling, and I agree with Betty, is why didn't the year that all the Richland Township AV went into that library, and I haven't seen it since, hasn't the library rate for South Whitley dropped? And I've asked along with Betty every year, and just like our rates all fell this year, if all the AV from Richland Township went into South Whitley's library, why hasn't that rate fell after the year they did? And I can't
It
get
should.
anyone to give me an answer because it hasn't. They've just increased the money coming into South Whitley Library. But like you said, it's within their levy, so they can't do anything about it. Darcy Hoopin Gardner, if I'm saying that right, is the new trustee, and she's looked into that to do away with the contract that their township board signed. And I agree with Betty from talking to the township people. They really didn't know what effect it was gonna have on the township when they signed that. It was just set in front of them at a meeting and they signed it. And like she says, it goes way back to 2008 that I've worked with her on this thing. And yes, the funds coming into the South Whitley Library are significant compared to the other library that's across the county from them. So there's some history on it. And I know Darcy is looking into it.
Well, she said she'd come to the budget meeting, but I was the only one at the budget meeting. I've been at all the budget meetings. That tells you how much they're interested in it and in their job of helping the community. When this come out, none of us knew it till we got our tax sheet. Even the board members said that. They didn't know it was gonna be on there. And if you look at that, if you look at the form, it's supposed to be on there. When the board meeting was, that they discussed this, and the date and everything, it's blank. All that's on there is signatures.
Township trustee did have no minutes on this. There's no minute, period.
Well, I can tell you, Edna Troy's got minutes on it, because I sit on the advisory board
Well, that's,
when we turned it down.
I heard
Glenn
that.
Western was a trustee, and I was on the advisory board, Tommy Western and Eugene Klingerman, and we turned it down. Because we figured it was cheaper for the township to pay everybody $100 that wanted to join it than it was to raise the taxes.
That's true.
well, what are we supposed to do when they do it undercover? Like George Helton come down here to get it done.
George didn't have anything to do with the change of that.
I don't believe it.
Well, thanks for hearing me, fellas. I'm going out with my tail between my legs.
Do we have any other members that wish to say?